Both with excellent defenses, offenses, speed, punching power, both undefeated, both with belts. It would be a unification fight. It almost never happens. Almost never. In a 50-50 fight, period.
That is the fight everyone should want. That is the #1 desirable fight in all of combat sports. There is no other fight that anyone should want more.
They're meeting at a great time, and whoever wins this fight should be the supreme 154-pounder right now.
It's a fight that you dare to say is a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, it gives a 50-50 fight. I give it more, it's 50-50 in a sense, but because of the experience, you can go 60-40, 60 with Boots with Xander, but it kind of is a 50-50 fight, yes.
Max Kellerman joined Stephen A. Smith to deliver a bold prediction for the long-awaited clash between Jaron Ennis and Xander Zayas, pushing back against the widespread belief that Ennis is simply too dominant. Kellerman believes Zayas has the precision, ring intelligence, and composure required to shock the boxing world and turn the fight upside down.
To say Boots is this future superstar, he beat this guy and that guy and that guy. Meantime, when you actually make the fights, and it's like, oh, he's really going to fight that guy? Is he going to win? Where are you with this?
Where I am, Max, is that I want to give a lot of credit to Xander Zayas. You know, Xander Zayas, a young guy, he wanted this fight, he called for the fight, and he made it happen quick after the Virgil Ortiz-Boots fight fell apart. So fair play to Xander. He has a lot of confidence in himself, even though he's going to be the underdog. And you're right, Boots hasn't proven anything yet. Not his fault, but he hasn't fought anyone. He looks special. Now we're going to find out.
Smith also pointed out that Zayas is a special kind of talent who isn't getting the attention he truly deserves, adding that he has the tools to potentially pull off a major upset against Jaron, and also known as Boot.
It's special, and we need to recognize that, and he deserves to be seen, and he deserves.
Max Kellerman emphasized that Xander Zayas has made a bold decision to step in against Jaron Ennis, putting both his title and his reputation on the line by facing what many consider the toughest opponent available. It's a high-risk move that could end up defining his entire career.
Andrew, you're right. You got to give him props. Is when you have a built-in fan base. In other words, it's not just that you're of a certain ethnic or national group, but you're undefeated. You've been groomed and promoted as maybe the future star that group's fan base will follow. You're risking a lot because you have a built-in economic engine behind you. And when you're a guy who can be put in a position to pick and you choose Boots, Gabe, what does that say?
Absolutely. This is a fight he definitely didn't have to take, man. You know, he's a 2-division champion right now. And for him to choose the toughest guy on paper right now, I mean, skill-wise, Boots, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. He could have went a different route.
Roy Jones Jr. praised Xander Zayas as a complete and highly versatile fighter, pointing to his long frame, his ability to fight effectively both on the inside and at range, and his sharp, disciplined bodywork. He also highlighted Zayas' maturity beyond his years, describing him as one of the most well-rounded and challenging opponents in the division.
Zayas is a very good fighter, a complete fighter, a fighter who I think presents next to the most, he probably the second most guy to fight in the weight class because he's rangy. He can do so many things. He can fight inside, he can fight outside. He's a great body puncher. He's a very, very respected guy, and I think he's very mature for his age. Boots, on the other hand, is looking for that coming out party type fight. So he got to fight somebody at this point. And because he couldn't get A, he went to B. And I like that because Boots saying, I want all the smoke. If this one won't take me, I'll go find the next one. And so since he couldn't make the fight with Ortiz, he made the fight with Xander. This is what you want to see. This is a barn burner, I think. May the best man win, but both of these guys are capable of becoming the biggest threat to Fundura in the weight class because right now, Fundura is still the king of the weight class.
Roy Jones Jr. added that while most fans were focused on a potential showdown between Jaron and Virgil Ortiz, he believes the matchup with Xander Zayas could actually be even more compelling and unpredictable.
I really wanted to see Boots tested by another fighter beforehand. I wanted to see him fight Virgil Ortiz first because
at 54.
Yes, because we're kind of on a collision course. However, I think Golden Boy and Virgil Ortiz had some issues. So now Boots went to the next best thing, which is even better than.
Robert Garcia also praised Xander Zayas as a talented and confident young fighter, noting that he is willingly stepping into a very dangerous challenge by taking on Jaron Ennis. Garcia respected Zayas for taking on such risks at a young age and emphasized that his confidence combined with a strong mindset and positive attitude gives him a genuine chance to compete in this matchup.
Boots versus Xander is a very good consolation prize to get if we're not getting Virgil versus either of them. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Look, it's a great fight, and Boots getting those challenges out there. Xander deciding to fight Boots on a very dangerous, challenging fight for himself. You know, you gotta respect, that decision. If the Virgil fight didn't happen, and then Virgil versus Boots is not happening, and Xander stepping in, gotta respect that kid, for being 23 and taking those challenges. You gotta respect that, my pick, I would probably say goes to Boots because talent-wise, but Xander is positive about himself, man. He sounds very confident. I talked to him and he's very confident.
On the other hand, many experts believe Xanderas shows some predictable habits in his style, including leaning to the left while coming forward, which can leave him vulnerable to sharp right hands and counter punches, something Jaron Ennis could potentially exploit very effectively. Despite his strong movement, high activity, and technical discipline, Zayas is not known for elite knockout power, and he has already been tagged cleanly by opponents who don't even possess heavy finishing strength.
So you were saying you watched the tape of Xander Zayas,
right?
And you kind of touched on that, he gets himself in certain spots where he doesn't throw punches. Go ahead and elaborate.
So when he's in the middle, so when he's on the center line, he might throw punches, but there's no power behind him. And if he's sitting on his right hand, same thing. He throws punches, quick shots, but those aren't the really dangerous shots. When he's trying to exchange and he wants to hurt you, you'll see his head go off center to the left over and over again. So he peaks, sort of like, I remember Salvador Sanchez used to hit you with those Jones, but then he'll peek over. So he'll peek over, throw a quick right hand, or he'll peek over, and if you freeze, or if he catch the right look that he's looking for, he's shooting a left hook or left hand to the body or left hand to the head almost every time. You know what I mean? And he throws with weight and with power. That's what he does to try to hurt his opponents, right? But that gets him caught because that's his rhythm. Every time he was there against Sparmer was hitting him with short right hands and was just timing his move. Like whenever he would peek over here, that short right hand was coming almost every time, and Sparmer was catching him right on the chin with those. And then when he's pulling back out of that, he's catching him with hooks. So he was short right hand, left hooks almost all day. It's just that Sparmer was a smaller guy, couldn't really hurt him, but he was hitting him. And that's what I pay attention to, is like, Boots is fast enough and athletic enough to still catch you in those positions, but it's not like you're fighting a smaller guy. Boots can hurt.
Terence Crawford said it is still too early for Xander Zayas to be thrown into such a high-level fight at this stage of his career. He praised Zayas' talent, discipline, and confidence, but warned that experience becomes the deciding factor. At the elite level, Crawford suggested that patience and gradual development are crucial before stepping into fights against top-tier opponents like Jaron Ennis.
Tough fight, especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, that he have in himself, and he's ready to go make history for his country, and he's going to do real well in that fight. I just think, right now, it's a little bit too early.
Jaron Ennis expressed full confidence ahead of the Xander announcement, boldly stating that he is the biggest name at 154 pounds. He declared that he is taking over the division and believes no fighter brings more excitement, skill, or overall talent to the weight class. Ennis insisted that this matchup is just the beginning of his rise and dominance at super welterweight, where he plans to establish complete control over the division. At the same time, everyone around him seems to be buying into that momentum, and the growing spotlight has only fueled his confidence even further. That level of attention may have boosted both his belief and his ego heading into the Xander Zayas fight, adding even more intensity to an already high-pressure showdown.
I'm feeling great, man. About to be a two-time weight division unified champ. man, I'm just naming my legacy, man. It's only up, man. I'm out of show the world. I'm the best in the world. I'm gonna continue to keep showing the world I'm the best in the world. Like this boxing game, mine, straight like that.
Now,
answering the questions that Boots was asking, so it was really one way.
So like I said, both of the guys seem to be kind of, I wouldn't say soft-spoken, but they seem respectful. Boots, he always been kind of chill. I seen Xander being kind of chill. I could see, Xander putting a chip on his back because everybody counting him out. I could see him having a chip on his shoulder because everybody's counting him out. Everybody's just, so high on Boots. So I could see that fueling him. But as far as, Boots getting all tough with him, I don't understand that. He's the golden child. I don't understand what he got to feel like he got to do. I think his role is to just stay quiet and handle his business with his fists.
Veteran trainer coach Reggie issued a stern warning to Xander Zayas, acknowledging his talent, but stressing that he is still too young and underexperienced for true elite-level wars. He praised Zayas as a strong prospect with real potential, but cautioned that stepping in against top opposition like Jaron Ennis at this stage could expose gaps in his development, timing, and overall ring maturity.
Xander's a good fighter. I like Xander. I just think that Xander don't know enough. Take a fight like Boots. I mean, granted, you get in this game, you're in this game to be the best. But I don't think he's ready for a fight like Boots. I mean, Xander's good, he can fight, but he's still a kid, he's still a baby. Still in learning stages right now.
A unified champion though, right?
He is.
Big kid. Seems like he's getting better each and every fight.
And I agree, but Boots in careers, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, are they going to pay him enough? I'm saying, are they going to pay him enough? Because I'm sure after they fight, he's not going to fight for a while.
Mike Carpenter believes Xander X taking on Jaron Ennis is a smart business move, even though he enters the fight as the underdog. He argues that facing a proven high-profile opponent like Ennis can significantly raise Zio's market value and overall standing in boxing, even if the odds are stacked against him. Kopinger says the risk could pay off financially while also elevating his reputation among fans, promoters, and major network. By choosing to step up instead of taking easier fights, Zayas is showing ambition and a willingness to test himself at the highest level, something that could shape his long-term growth, visibility, and career direction in the sport.
Why there's so much hype around Boots. He's an incredible athlete, he has a great jab, he can box, he's in good fights, he has power. But Xander Zayas at 23 is definitely an improving fighter, and like you said, Gabe, he's an economic engine, right? He could be fighting in Puerto Rico in January, he could fight in New York, he's gonna probably have the bigger fan support here. Yeah. And I think this is a great business move for Xander too. He's gonna get a career high payday, and like you said, 190 he walks around at. He hasn't had much more time at 154.
Yeah. And also I'm thinking about is if you really watch Boots does look special all the time. But there's cases where he gets hit a lot. And you're like, man, for you to be so good and so special, why are you getting hit from some of these lower class fighters? So Xander might have seen that. So you know what? Yeah, I know Boots is special. I know he's really, really good, etc. But I see things in this game where
Jaron is regarded as one of the top fighters at 154 pounds, carrying the reputation of an elite, highly skilled, and dangerous competitor. Xander Zayas, meanwhile, surprised many observers and even parts of his own camp by aggressively pursuing this high-risk matchup instead of opting for a safer, more traditional title defense. At the Faceoff, both fighters displayed clear confidence and exchanged sharp words and energy, immediately setting a tense and competitive tone. Zayas, just 23 years old and still developing at championship level, handled the pressure well and appeared composed under the spotlight. However, his greater experience, ring maturity, and proven success against elite-level opposition stood out as key advantages heading into the fight.
Boots was going to have confidence. He believes he's the best 154 in the world. Xander Zayas, who even people on his own side wondered why he was pushing for this fight. Even his trainer needed an explanation from him before he signed off on him taking this fight. His promoter, who admitted on the dais that his plan for Xander was to put him in MSG, put him in Puerto Rico, do a nice title defense. This was all Xander Zayas. But Xander on that stage continues to look like, act like, sound like a guy that firmly believes that he is the better fighter in this matchup. What were your takeaways from watching Boots and Xander face to face for the first time?
It was a fun press conference because Boots was really confident. He was brimming with confidence, and normally you see Boots more, more chill with a little bit more swagger. He's a little bit more, soft with his comebacks. But no, he was brimming with confidence, and him and Zayas were going back and forth, and I think Zayas handled it perfectly. For a 23-year-old champion who hasn't really been against the best, he's facing somebody that's potentially pound for pound one of the best. And Zayas handled it with flying colors, man. And I think Boots better respect what he has in front of him. Even though the measurements stay the same, I saw a bigger, younger fighter motivated to do something great.
Both fighters are viewed as having defensive vulnerabilities, but they appear in very different ways. Jarini's can be caught when he commits heavily on offense, as he sometimes opens himself up while attacking, creating brief but dangerous windows for counters. Xander Zayas, meanwhile, is still developing defensively and can be exposed through positioning mistakes and inexperienced reactions, especially against sharp, well-timed punches. Because of these factors, many analysts believe Ennis holds the clear edge in overall skill, natural ability, and experience against higher-level opposition, which is why Zayas is seen as the underdog despite holding a unified champion status. From a tactical standpoint, Zayas is expected to apply pressure and try to push Ennis backward throughout the fight. However, Ennis is highly effective as a counter-puncher and is comfortable operating off the back foot, which could allow him to neutralize forward pressure and control the rhythm and timing of the entire matchup.
And if Boots is not careful and is a little bit too much overconfident, then this is a type of fight where he can be exposed. There was something both of them were going on, saying they both get hit. Yes, they do, but Boots gets hit being offensive. Zayas gets hit, being a little bit pulling his head back, rookie mistakes. And I think a fighter like Boots can capitalize on that, and Zayas better be on his P's and Q's. He better have that sharp technique because he's dealing with a more confident, maybe overconfident, but more skilled and naturally gifted fighter in Boots, and that's the reason that the unified champion is the underdog in Zayas.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder what Zayas' game plan is going to be, because his team, I think, is going to want him to try to push Boots back. And you saw some of the things that Xander said. He said he felt that Boots has been a weight bully for most of his career. So that and some conversations that I had with people around him told me that they want to be a more offensive-oriented fighter. When guys come at Jaron Ennis, he is an excellent counterpuncher. He's excellent fighting, going backwards. He kind of eats up that style. Now, maybe Xander and his team can say he's never done that against a guy on my level. That's probably true. I mean, look, Stanionis is a really good fighter. Boots carved him up. Lima, certainly not on Xander's level, but he came at Boots.
Match up with him.
Boots matches up, he might be the best fighter. I think he's the most talented fighter at 154.
Is he ever going to fight any of these guys?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. I think we're going to see him fight somebody this summer. We'll get to it a little bit later in the show.
Look, what do you think of, when I look at all those names, I see a bunch of good fighters. But when you say who could be special out of all those guys, my best prediction would be Boots.
Boots.
But you got to beat these guys. You can't just make us feel that way. You got to actually do it.
To me, the top guys in that division is Boots and Virgil.
Right. That's why everyone wants to see that fight.
You know what I mean? So, and Boots has got that speed, that power, good defense. He from Philly.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was waiting.
By the way, these two are not going to be
if you're not a big boxing fan or a real professional boxer, you just watch all these guys fight and you watch Boots, you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
The wow effect, he has that. So when you ask this question, it's not even no shot of a doubt who's the most talented.
Do you think Boots' power and explosiveness will overwhelm the fight, or does Zayas' skill set and ring maturity give him a real chance at the upset? Drop your prediction in the comments below.